so far. It's gonna be pretty busy today, but I'm having like a somewhat chill start to it. And as far as the being more into Black Panther as a kid comment, I guess that could be said about most of the things I liked as a kid. I kind of have these memories of them, and then I go back and revisit them, and they just aren't as good upon like rewatching or rereading. Oh, welcome back, Mushroom Team. Do I draw? Not anymore. Well, I did when I was a kid. When did I start playing piano? Um, it's like I don't really know. Middle school, high school, somewhere around then, but not in the way you probably think. I just had like a keyboard and I would mess around on it like maybe once a month. It was like a toy for me, like something that I spent most of the time like in the garage or in a closet. And I would pull it out every now and then. I didn't join my first band until after high school as a bass player actually, and then I started playing keyboard more seriously in my second band. It wasn't like a young childhood thing, like it is for a lot of people. I feel for a lot of people that at least I'm around, a lot of like career musicians kind of tend to have started a little bit earlier than me. When they got me into music, what got me into music? Boredom. Same thing that got me into video games. It was just something to do. I don't know. I was into a lot of things like music. I got really into yo-yoing for a while, but I feel like a lot of people, at least at the school that I went to, did. There isn't some like really cool story about being really inspired by one musician or piece of music. I'm doing okay, cause thank you for asking. But yeah, I was just boredom. Just looking for something to kind of pour time into. I play Counter Strike like you play piano, says Crypto. Do you stream Counter Strike? Do you stream on Twitch then? I haven't seen too many people that stream video games on YouTube. So I just automatically assume you stream on Twitch, but I could be wrong. Oh, both YouTube and Twitch. Word up. I used to play Counter Strike. Was that high school? I don't know. I used to play Counter Strike Source. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I remember. I was really into Deathclock at the time. From Metalocalypse, so I used to listen to a lot of Deathclock and play Counter Strike Source. It was definitely kind of a time bubble in my life because it's definitely not what I'm doing anymore, but I have fond memories of Counter Strike. I restreamed to. Oh, restreamed lets you stream on multiple places. Oh, word up. That's cool. Oh, music is so strange. Oh, thank you, Joy. Sorry, I was just playing random chords and melody. That's why it sounded kind of directionless. But I kind of liked it. Glad I wasn't alone. Thanks, Joey Star. Have you ever played Animal Crossing before? I have not. It's not really the game for me. It doesn't align with my interests, so I haven't ventured into Animal Crossing land. But I did see that there's a new one coming out, so congratulations to all the people that are big Animal Crossing fans. You know what's really funny? I'm actually having trouble playing piano today because I'm cold. My window's broken, so all the cold air is kind of let into my room, and just like anything that requires a certain amount of dexterity, it's really hard to like move my hands really quickly when my body is cold. Yeah, the wind broke my window. Cloudless, do you play Animal Crossing? Are you pretty excited for the new Animal Crossing game coming out? Let me play something. Let me play something I haven't played in a while. Due to how slow it is, but it might help for how my bones don't want to move now. It'll be my first Animal Crossing game that I actually never invested in. Oh, okay. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Indeed, I feel like that's the common thing that I've heard a lot from Animal Crossing, but it's more so of a relaxing game for people to kind of unwind while playing. Heck, maybe if I wasn't a musician, um, and playing music didn't give me that meditative result or benefit, maybe I would also be into Animal Crossing. yeah, I saw all of the hubbub. People were really upset about the whole one island per console thing. Yeah, maybe they have an online thing set up. Or maybe they don't. I don't know. gonna take a while. Oh crap! Sorry, Jelly. I missed what you said. I got pushed up. Is there a food or type of food that you can only get in Arizona that you miss? I wouldn't say a type of food. They're Indian fried bread is pretty plentiful in Arizona, Joey. Indian fried bread is pretty plentiful, or like Native American fried bread. I mean, even all the restaurants are still just called Indian fried bread restaurants. But that's not something that I miss all the time. It's something that I like occasionally miss. But even when I lived in Arizona and I could have it whenever I wanted, I think I only had it a few times a year. It's more so specific restaurants in Arizona that I miss. Indian fried bread though is like it's just like fried, really heavy bread. Think of like funnel cake, but more dense and hard. Like it's like hearty stuff, not so sweet. So it's like this dense fried bread, and there's like beans and cheese and stuff, or like beef in it, or like buffalo. I think I didn't get any of that though. I just got a beef in mind. Beef, bean, and cheese, or just bean and cheese. It was heavy though. It was like all you needed to eat for the entire day. Super dense food, but I kind of miss that. And outside of that, mostly just restaurants, like specific restaurants, because I feel like whenever restaurants from the East Coast are coming out west, they'll typically stop in Arizona because rent is cheap in Arizona, so it's easier to open a restaurant. At least this is why I think it happens. And they don't come all the way out to California. So living in Arizona, I kind of had my pick of a huge variety of restaurants. But that there's a place called Costa Vida out there, and I actually think there is like one or two out here in California. They're just not as I mean, they're not in Los Angeles, so I would have to drive for like hours probably to get to the nearest one. But Costa Vida is just a Mexican food chain, and I feel like Mexican food places, especially in like the Southwest, where most of the Mexican restaurants are in the States, kind of fall under two categories where there's like a regular Mexican restaurant that had like the architecture kind of looks like it's like this Aztec Mexican architecture, traditional Mexican food, and then there's like a second type of Mexican food restaurant where it's like supposed to look almost like a cabana, and there's a lot of like grass rooftop and like huts, and it's mostly seafood. It's like Baja California stuff, so like fish tacos and a lot of shrimp things. And in Arizona there was one of those places, one of the more like surfy ocean beach type Mexican food restaurants called Costa Vida, where it just had like the biggest burrito I've ever ordered or seen or eaten. Um, oh, hi Rihanna, welcome back. Um, it's huge. It's like bigger than because I feel like everybody thinks Chipotle is like a really big burrito, but I'd say Chipotle is like this, and then Costa Vida is like this. It's a really huge burrito. It's so good though. I don't know what they're putting in that stuff, but it's great. Their sauces are great, and the tortillas are made fresh. They're like making them in. I think that's what it is. Any place that's making fresh tortillas, I'm usually on the side of. Oh, hello, Mob Town, Tokyo. Welcome back. But yeah, I think I missed that place probably most of all. Most things that they have in Arizona food wise, I can get out here in Los Angeles, usually to a wider variety as well. Um, Arizona, while it has like a few kind of crap, I can't remember what that place is called. Lunchbox. I can go right to it, but I can't think of the name of it. There's this place that's on ASU campus that does like burgers, like charbroiled burgers, and they're good charbroiled burgers, and I do miss them. But I'm pretty certain that I can find a charbroiled burger as good, if not better, out here in Los Angeles. It's more so just like I miss the act of going to some of those places because I have like weird memories tied to them. But Costa Vida is a place that whenever I go back to Arizona, I do go specifically to Costa Vida to get that burrito like once or twice. Also, there's a Thai restaurant um, that has Thai chow mein, which again I can get better. I can get better Thai style chow mein out here. It's just I have like weird memories attached to that place. But if we're talking about specific foods, it's just Costa Vida. It's just the burrito place because I feel like that is specific to Arizona. There are a few things that I could get in Arizona that I can't get out here that aren't specific to Arizona, like Waffle House. I kind of miss Waffle House every now and then, but that's not really an Arizona thing as much as it's just not a California thing. Anyways, good question, Jolly Star. I wasn't expecting to get that much mileage out of that one, but I did. For anybody just now joining, it is very cold in my room, and so there are some songs that I just can't play. My body won't allow me to, but I'm going to try to play Double Let's now. If it sounds different, you have my apologies. I don't know if a cape would do the trick. I need a fixed window. Oh, I didn't realize how rare being in the live stream was for you. Well, I'm glad you made it. especially somebody that's been in the streams for so long, to still be able to come up with any type of new questions is appreciated. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Maybe I'll see you here tomorrow. New video tomorrow, by the way. Oh, how's college going, Mobtown? Crap. Sorry, I missed the question. Someone inspired you to start making music? No, not really, Mushroom Tea. Just boredom. chance that I wouldn't know it was you, but I feel like if it were real life and all you said was, it's me, Cyber, that might work. But I don't think I have any idea what you look like. Yeah, it's not even trash day. I actually don't know why the truck is here. No, window's still broken. Cyber. I can't answer that question with an educated response because I haven't really used the Launchpad or the Mini or anything like that. I've only used the Akai Fire, and since I only use Fruity Loops, which the Akai Fire is only compatible with, unlike a Launchpad, which I think works for several things, I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about a Launchpad. I can only say that the Akai Fire has been great for me. However, I should include this. The Akai Fire, I just updated to the most recent version of Fruity Loops, like fresh, like I don't know, like a couple of days ago or something like that. And the Akai Fire is having a couple of issues with the most recent update. So either they're gonna have to patch it, or I'm probably gonna revert to an older version. So I guess something to keep in mind. I don't know. Usually they fix these problems within like a couple of weeks or so, but if I'm just being transparent, that is a problem that I'm having right now with the Akai Fire. But the Akai Fire is something that works for me in my workflow, but I wouldn't say the Akai Fire and the Launchpad are comparable at all. Um, the things I've seen people do with the Launchpad are things you can't do with an Akai Fire, and things that I do with an Akai Fire are things that would not work with a Launchpad. Um, the Akai Fire is a sequencer first and foremost. And yeah, you can do other things with it, but I think that it kind of shines and excels as a sequencer. And the other thing you're talking about, Launchpad. I feel like a Launchpad is just kind of like a versatile MIDI controller that cannot necessarily sequence. It's not a sequencer. That is my weird, I don't know, probably unhelpful breakdown on the Akai Fire versus the Launchpad, which again I have never used. Did you see they were making another Saw movie starring Sam Jackson and Chris Rock? I did not see that, but I did see a tweet that had something to do with like Chris Rock's gonna produce the next Saw or something like that. I don't know. I did see that tweet sometime last year, but I didn't like see any other news. I didn't know Sam Jackson was gonna be in it. That's cool, I guess. I mean, I didn't see all the Saw movies. I feel I saw several of them. I think I saw like five of them, maybe six. I only enjoyed two of them, and I didn't see Jigsaw like the other one. I don't know if that was a reboot or a sequel. I don't know what that was, but I didn't watch that. And if there's a new Saw movie, I'm gonna be honest. Saw 1 was very good. Saw 1 was very good. Saw 2 was also good. But I just feel like that formula, it got old so fast for me. It got old very fast. The only reason Saw 1 and Saw 2 were good, in my opinion, is because of their narrative direction. Like the turns that the story made. I wasn't just watching it to watch some people like chained up try to like cut their legs off and stuff like that. Um, I thought the story was kind of cool. And then that kind of went away at a certain point. So if Chris Rock and Sam Jackson make a good Saw movie, I mean, dope. I will watch it. But am I gonna like buy tickets to see it in theaters? Probably not. In my interest, as far as horror is concerned, I usually lean more towards psychological horror and like oh, we need to come up with better like subtitles and subgenres for horror, because I feel like slasher and like I don't even know what you would call Saw. It's like more gore, I guess. It's more about gore and like cringe stuff. I don't really enjoy that type of horror. I'm not squeamish. It doesn't make me sick. It's just not. It doesn't like scare me. Yeah, I guess like a torture film. I don't really. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Probably not the biggest Saw fan, but I did like the first two movies. I did like the first two movies for narrative reasons, not so much just for the torture. I could take it or leave it, the torture. But if Chris Rock and company can make it dope, sure. Yeah, they do get kind of bland, Mob Town, in my opinion as well. I prefer alien horror movies, says Donovan. Alien horror movies, okay. I think I like. I mean, I like what Ari Aster has done with horror. I like I liked Hereditary and Midsommar. I like that kind of horror. I like horror that leans more on the side of psychological than on the side of here's the monster, we know exactly what it is and what it can do. I like when it leans more on like we don't exactly know what's going on. I like that kind of stuff. I feel like that sticks with me a little bit longer. It's like there's some movie called The Ritual, maybe? The Ritual, The Sacrifice or something like that. Um yeah, The Shining was pretty good. Although I'm not a big Stephen King fan. Kinda don't like him. Kinda don't like him now. And in retrospect, I don't love The Shining, but yeah, The Shining does fit into the category of movies I'm talking about, where it's more psychological. There's a movie called Ritual, which wasn't too psychological. It was more of a classic horror film, like Lost in the Woods type horror film. But it's one of those things where you don't know what the monster looks like for a really long time. And when they showed the monster, it was really cool. I mean, I did like the design of it, but it almost took something away from the horror aspect, but it's kind of like mystery, psychological aspect. Something about being able to see the monster and exactly what it can and cannot do takes away some of the horror of mystery. Maybe I'm describing terror more than horror. I think that horror is more so when you see the thing and you're afraid of it. I think terror is what I like more, which is more that like foreboding, you don't really know what's going on feel. Hello, Elizabeth. Elizabeth. Like the descent for me, for once the monsters were revealed, it wasn't scary anymore. Yeah, I agree. They did that in Bird Box. Oh, Bird Box was good. Yeah, Bird Box was pretty good. I can't tell if people like Bird Box or hate it anymore, but I liked it. I don't know. I thought it was good. Maybe, maybe I do have this thing where usually if Netflix does something, I tend to like it more because I want to support Netflix. In the same way that like when your friend writes a song, you give it a little bit more slack, room for error because it's your friend. I do that for Netflix a lot. Hmm. It was a meme of the week. Yeah, I think I probably wouldn't have known about it if it wasn't so all over my Twitter feed for a minute. That was everywhere. Did I finish Flight Plan? Yeah, I played the song Flight Plan. It harkened back to a communal watching experience. Ooh, good point, Cyber. Battle Royale. Battle Royale. Wow, that's wow. What a callback. That is an old piece of work. I do remember Battle Royale, and I remember the man. He was not a man. He was a boy. I remember the boy who showed it to me for the first time. We all had that friend in like school that seemed to get their hands on like weird foreign stuff. And you were just like, how are you getting this stuff? Like he always had like the undubbed anime. He had like the subbed stuff like before it was actually out. I was like, how is he getting this? Anyways, he showed me Battle Royale as well as like Old Boy and a lot of movies like that. I was pleased with it. Sorry, there's a bumblebee on my window. Little bumble boy. Okay, this song's called Love Letters because ooh, I don't know if I'll be able to play this. This should be interesting because my hand is numb. I didn't see VHS. It was good. I like Get Out. I thought the horror was subtle. It was very subtle. It's funny to see something happen in like. It's funny to see trends happen in movies because I'm not a filmmaker. I'm not really a movie man. I just watch movies. But I am a music maker. So when trends happen in music, I feel kind of like a visceral connection to it because it's my career path. So when something becomes really popular in songs, like, oh, we're gonna do a trap break here. This is where the hi hats are gonna speed up, and the breaky rap part. I remember when all pop songs started having that. It was really weird. Um, oh, movie is called Spiral. Interesting, Cyber. No, I'm sorry. Anyways, it's interesting to see trends happen in films because, again, I only know so little. I only know so much about them. So recognizing a trend is maybe a little bit more difficult for me. But obviously, like horror has had their trends, like jump scares being a big trend that still have stood the test of time, or like found footage, the like Blair Witch Project thing, where everything's all shaky and super. Like that is a trend that still kind of has some mileage, and people are doing that a lot. But I feel like there's like a more recent trend that's happening now, where it's like really, really artsy horror. Like people that are making horror films, and yes, they are scary or whatever, or maybe gory, but they're also very beautifully shot, and I don't know, things feel like, oh, this is like an Oscar movie. Things look like The King's Speech. Things look like Black Swan. Things look like, oh, these people are trying to get an Oscar. It just happens to be a ghost story. I feel like that's becoming more popular, and I feel like The Haunting of Hill House kind of did that. All of Ari Aster's films do that. Get Out did that. Even Us did that, where it's just like there's a lot of shots that are like, wow. The Shining did that. The Shining had a lot of shots that were like, even outside of the context of horror, were really beautiful, like beautifully, beautifully shot and made. Anyways, uh, oh, I didn't see Leanna. Is that you, Leanna? Leanna, you missed double Lutz. I kind of messed it up anyway because one of my hands is numb, but the one that matters, one could argue, the right one. That's the weird thing, Elizabeth. It's not garbage day. I don't know why there's garbage trucks here. Yesterday was garbage day. I don't know what they're picking up because it's not my garbage. That broke neck lady got me. I like that, Leanna. It was the bent neck lady. I don't think it was broke, it was just bent. I have a few friends that can't watch horror films. Like they can't see them. They're the people that cover their face when like a horror comes out. And for a really long time I didn't understand that. You might be right, by the way. Maybe all movies just got beautiful, and horror was just one ship in a rising tide. But whenever people would cover their eyes during a horror movie, it would always confuse me because I was like, you paid for this movie, or like, these people made this movie. Don't you want to experience the movie? Almost like if somebody were playing you their song, and at a certain point in the song, you like plugged your ears. I know this is a false parallel, right? Because songs don't exactly give most people nightmares. Songs don't haunt people's dreams or thoughts later. Um, but I know when something's about to jump out, be it a ghost, or when the music is telling you a jump scare is going to happen, a lot of people will cover their eyes. And again, that's something that I didn't get for a really long time, and it almost frustrated me. I was like, why would you do that? This is like somebody spent all their time and efforts making this thing, and you paid to be in the seat in front of the thing, so you're gonna intentionally not watch the thing. But then I was talking to my friend about it, and she was saying that it would like be deeply upsetting to her to see, the ghost pop out and go, "Boo, we in here," or it would be deeply upsetting for her to see like the witch's face when it's got all the special effects makeup on it. Or going through like a haunted house, like when you're going through not like a real haunted house, but going through like the haunted house that you walk through, like the little maze. People that are covering their eyes. I'm like, I want to see what's going on. I want to like see how they designed this room to be scary. I want to see the costume. I want to see the makeup that people are wearing. And the same way that I want to hear the sounds. That's my take. But for some people, it's too upsetting to see. It'll like ruin their week if they see it. And I I feel bad for those people. I feel bad for those people. Anyways, because I mean, I'm obviously not one of them. Did you see the Scary Stories movie? I think it was shot well, but they messed up the plot by intertwining the stories to make and making it PG-13. I did not see it because it did look kind of whack, but I'm glad to know that it shot well. Maybe I will get around to seeing it now then. Hereditary was intense for me. It was beautiful and a perfect horror film, in my opinion, but it was hard to watch, says Elizabeth. More on that later. Later, guy, says Mance. Bye. Bye, Mance. Jump scares are unless they're done right. Mm, okay. I mean, that can be said about anything, right? That can be said about special effects makeup, or CG, or martial arts films, or comedy. Everything's good if it's done right, and if it's not. I feel that for people who have to see the movie a few times to react like about the story and another time to appreciate the art. I think there are people like that. Indeed, Lenny. Indeed. Indeed. I just I think I'm not one of those people. Something. Well, let me back up. I also. Oh my God. I'll say this and then we do need to go over news because we are at the hour mark. But I'm not easily scared by movies or games. Real life can be scary for sure, but when I'm looking at something like I'm reading a book or I'm watching a movie or I'm playing a video game, not so scary because I'm all too aware that the thing is fake, that the thing is like made up for my entertainment and not I'm not in any real danger. So my mind kind of makes that separation pretty quickly. But I think because I spend a lot of time working on things artistically for entertainment, it always makes me feel good when somebody comes to me and they're like, "Hey, Omni, I listened to Quick Breath and I listened to Ego Death and I just realized that the song titles are interchangeable from one to the other. Was that done intentionally?" And it's like, yeah, I actually spent a lot of time doing that. Thank you for digging into the minutia and actually appreciating that because most people, not only are they not going to listen to both those albums, but they're not going to understand that they are connected lyrically and I guess song title wise. And so when I'm going and I guess appreciating a piece of art, whether it's like a painting or a video game or a movie, regardless of genre, I do try. I do really try. Do I fail sometimes? For sure. But I do try to like kind of almost data mine it for things that effort was put into that I can appreciate or at least notice. Because some things take a long time and we don't know about it. If I spend a week EQing a drum in a song, you guys that hear the song are not going to know that it took that long. Heck, you might not even hear the drum. You might be focused on the vocals or the piano or something like that. You might not hear it. And if you do hear it, you probably don't appreciate the time and effort that was put into it. But when I'm thinking about horror films, I've seen bad horror films. We've all seen bad horror films. And usually bad horror films aren't very scary. There's a certain skill to making something scary or making something terrifying. There's also a skill to making something convincing. You know, if you're watching kind of like a B movie that's a horror, when the ghost comes out, it's gonna look kind of ridiculous. You're gonna kind of laugh or chuckle to yourself like, oh, this is they didn't have the budget to make this a good. And so when I'm looking at horror movies that are clearly at that level, like an Ari Aster film, I'm trying to pay attention to everything. I'm trying to pay attention to everything because I'm like, oh, I bet this was done intentionally. And then usually when I look at some like actual film head, somebody that's gone to film school, break down the movie after the fact, like on YouTube, I learn even more about all the effort and the time that was put into a film and artistic care and curation. So covering the one sense I have to appreciate the film is like, it's just not a reaction I have. Unless I truly do dislike the film. I think even when I've disliked the film, I haven't covered my eyes. I've just laughed. Laughter is my way of disappointment. I see that way. You can really separate it. It's hard for some people. Absolutely, Lenny. Talking to my friend, or friends, I should say, that can't see horror films has helped me realize that for some people, they can't separate that so easy. They see a horror movie and their brain goes, I'm in a horror movie. This is horrible. And they're not very happy. They're not very happy. I'm just too aware. Um, Now, cause getting startled easily is different. Like I think I can get startled easily. I think, however, when I'm watching a horror movie, I'm expecting to be startled, so I'm always kind of like on my guard. There is something to be said about like being prepped for a horror movie. Like when I sit down in a horror movie, I have like almost even a different posture, even if it's kind of minute. I have like a different posture even than when I'm watching a like a casual comedy or something. You have to appreciate the melody and then really dig up to really discover the quality. Absolutely, Lenny. I cannot hang playing Amnesia or Outlast. I do okay with horror games. It happened the same to me when I became a professional writer. I never read a book the same way again, especially horror or thriller. Word up. Yeah, something about being in an art path obviously makes you appreciate art a little bit more in depth. I like foreign martial arts films. Ooh, even the really cheesy ones, and some of my friends hate them and find them too stupid. I will say one thing about martial arts films, and then I do need to get to news, guys. Um, I love martial arts films. I watch them several times a week. I'm like a big martial arts film, martial arts shows, whatever. I do watch them a lot. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen me post about a lot of martial arts films. I love them. Now, martial arts films, I have the same appreciation that I would for something like WWE, like wrestling or something like that. It's it's not necessarily about the story for martial arts films or even about the dialogue. It's obviously about the martial arts, and when you look at it as like an athletic thing, it's like, wow, these people are doing amazing things. And so if I look at an old Jackie Chan film or a Bruce Lee film or a Donnie Yen film, I watched a Donnie Yen film last night called Internal Affairs 4, I think it was called. Criminal Affairs 4? It doesn't matter. Anyways, I watched it last night, and it was laughable when it came to dialogue and story progression, but the athleticism in the film and the fight choreography. And the same way when you look at people dancing, you don't focus so much on what their hair looks like or what the song is or what their makeup looks like. You kind of focus on the dance. And for me, watching martial arts films is kind of like watching a very long dance routine, and sometimes they can be very impressive. Some of the fight choreographers, especially back in some of those cheesier martial arts films, were arguably better maybe than they are now. When I was younger, I got scared more from movies, but it's funny watching them later when you're older and realizing how silly it was. Absolutely, Cyber. I have the same thing. Trolls 2 was horrifying to me as an 11-year. That's really funny that Trolls 2 was scary for you. I wish that I had seen Trolls 2 when I was at an age where it would have been scary for me. Donnie Yen is my favorite so far, says Mobtown. Donnie Yen is a champ. Hitman 4, the finale. I have not seen Hitman 4. I've only seen 1 through 3. 1 through 3, sorry. Do you have a website to watch them? I feel it hard to find them. No, I have a TV that they just come on. I have a Samsung TV. And when you have a Samsung TV, it comes with like Samsung channels. And one of them just kind of shows like old Asian films and a lot of martial arts ones. My dad showed me Akira when I was a kid. I got traumatized and hid the VHS. Jesus Christ. Your dad sounds cool though. Okay. 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 Sorry. We need to go over news. So I do have two new albums out. One is called Quick Breath. The other one is called Ego Death. Beep, bop, boop. You can find them on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Google Play Music, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Groove, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube. I worked really hard on those, and I just now am in kind of the position to start working on new music for 2020. So there will be new music. I don't want to say on the way yet, but I'm gonna start working on it. Um, I'm gonna go over news and then I'll answer any questions for the person that just asked about books. So that is music news. As far as stream news, I'm here every weekday morning at 9 a.m. It's the same time every morning, guys. I'm doing such a good job with punctuality. Except on the days that I just cancel the stream altogether, but on the days I do the stream, I'm never late, so I guess I'm patting myself on the back for no reason there. As far as merch, the merch is coming. It's going to be a t-shirt and stickers, and I will let you guys know the progress of that. And as far as shows, the shows that I'm booked for, I'm not allowed to talk about, so I can't really tell you guys the shows, but when I can tell you, here is where you will hear about them. Here on Instagram, and I guess Twitter as well. But yeah, please listen to Quick Breath and Ego Death. They are my pride and joy. Now to clean up on some questions. Somebody says, Omni Boy, which are your favorite books? I don't have any favorite books. I don't have any favorite anything. But since you're asking about books that I've read, some off the top of my head that I enjoyed. I liked the Millennium trilogy, so like the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and the Girl that Kicked the Hornet's Nest and all that stuff. That's a good one. That's a good series, I guess, of books. I really like Count of Monte Cristo. It's old and it's very long and it's very verbose, but if you can get over all of that stuff, at its core, it's an amazing story. I also like Les Mis, which is maybe even more divisive, especially since it's been turned into a musical, and a lot of people hate musicals. But if you can sit through that book, and I will warn, it is a very long book. It's over 1,000 pages, but it's very good story. It's another book that I liked. Crime and Punishment was it was okay. Maybe I shouldn't mention that then. If it's just okay, you're talking about books I really like. Girl in the Train was surprisingly good. I wasn't expecting to like that book as much as I did. Um, Let me give one more to round it out. A good book. A good book. That's wild. People don't typically ask me that, and I typically read books in series. Um, Seconds is like a graphic novel, so I don't know if you want to count that, but it's really good. It's maybe the most memorable thing by Brian Lee O'Malley for me, anyway. And I know Lee O'Malley also made Scott Pilgrim, but like I feel like Seconds stuck with me longer than Scott Pilgrim did, so I'm gonna put that on the list. But that is a graphic novel, so I'll try to name another book. Um, this is gonna sound stupid, but Frankenstein, like the old Frankenstein book, it's very old. Wow, a lot of the books that I'm naming like came out at least 100 years ago. I'm sorry for that, but Frankenstein is very good. Read Frankenstein if you get a chance. There's a lot of stories that steal from Frankenstein's kind of formula that it built, and uh, much can be gained narratively. I don't know. Sometimes reading something or seeing a movie or seeing a piece of art that inspired a lot of art that you like that you aren't aware of is good. Maybe read Frankenstein. It's one of the classics. Oh, um, wow! I wasn't expecting to spend that long on this question. Um, but um, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There's like a series of them, but I have the Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where they kind of compile the different books. It is very good. It's kind of it's like a comedy. At certain parts, it kind of turns into a dark comedy, but it's kind of have it has like a British sense of humor, which for me is kind of relegated to BBC. Like whenever I want to watch something that does have a British sense of humor, it's like I have to watch like Sherlock or something like that, or I have to watch like Doctor Who. And so the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was the only book I read that has that very specific like English snark, and I don't know what you call that sense of humor, but it is really funny. I guess read that. I don't know. Those are books that I enjoy. Crap. Okay, there's a subscription for Amazon called Hiya. I start using Hiya. Oh, it's for martial arts films. Oh, word up. Oh, thank you, Cyber. Thank you. I appreciate that because I always forget to tell people. Have a good day. Everyone says Mixie's leaving. Um, Somebody says please. Oh my goodness. How far down did people go? People kept talking after I was talking about books. Okay. 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 Jesus. Oh, H.P. Lovecraft. We're talking about Batman. Oof, okay, I'm not gonna talk about him right now. But what do where did I leave off on news? Two new albums out. Listen to them. Streams happen here every day at 9 a.m. I have some shows, but I'm not allowed to talk about them yet. And I have merch coming this year, and I will keep you guys updated on when exactly that is coming out. This song is the song that I use to close the streams. It's called Hush Hour. If you want to see the music video for it, it's also here on my YouTube. Ice asks a last minute question. Can you judge an artist for what he have done in his life? Like H.P. Lovecraft? You can judge anybody for whatever you want to judge them for. You're your own judge. But I'm not. I feel like that question is a very, very good question that I could give a very long and in-depth and informative answer to, but not when we're 14 minutes over. Not now. Join a future stream and ask that question because that is a very good question, and I would like to spend a lot of time there, but I just can't right now. I'm so sorry. And also, thank you for your good questions. Um, Thank you everybody for being respectful to me and polite to each other. Also, thank you for the new people that were asking questions. There's a few people that have been in here for a pretty long time, like Cyber, like Leanna, you know, my old buddies, the goons, and they know everything at this point. So there isn't too many questions to expect out of them. It's just conversation. But for all the new people that were asking questions, I do really appreciate it. And for everybody that's been coming back, for people that have been on time, I really do appreciate you guys a lot more than you think. And I will see you here tomorrow. Again, remember a new video tomorrow on my YouTube. It's going to be a remix of Khalid's Talk. And then on Friday, we're going to do a stream breaking it down. But I have to go now and get to work because I am over. I am overtime. Thank you again, everybody. Abba.